Hello, everybody. I welcome to the FeelFab 3R Protocol mini course. And I have having a little bit of technical difficulties here, so sorry for the few minute delay. If you're on the line, can you just kind of type in comments and let me know if you can hear me okay without any problems? So would love to know that. If you can just write a comment, say, yes, I can hear you, you're good, or not so much, whatever it is. Okay, funny girl, Brown, can you hear me? Yes, no, maybe? Sound is good. Okay, fantastic. Thank goodness for little things. Having, like I said, a little bit of glitching here. I had to switch from computer to phone, but we're in a learning curve. So anyways, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here tonight. This is pretty exciting for me because I've been putting together a program that I feel is really going to help women. It's helped myself, and obviously I want to share that. So it's something that it's been a passion of mine for probably the last 10 years that I've really been working on this, and now it's coming to fruition where I can actually share this and share the protocol that I put together with everybody. So exciting evening. So but anyways, if you're here, I'm seeing a few people are here. Thank you for attending tonight. I know that a lot of people will watch replays, and that's kind of the way that it goes. Sorry that I'm not positioned perfectly in here, but I'll try to adjust it. If I tilt over or something, yeah, let me know. But anyways, I just wanted to go on, and like I say, my goal has been with starting Feel Fabulous Nutrition, which is the business that I started, is really to empower women who've had decades of really struggling with either weight to some degree, but with food in general, with health, and they really are looking to find peace with that and find something that is going to be simple, sustainable, that they can really a protocol that they can follow for the rest of their lives and gain good health, move their body into a natural weight range for them, whatever that may be, and to actually have a peace with all of that. And so that's kind of my goal with Feel Fabulous Nutrition and in general. So I have a couple of questions. Really, I just kind of, if you're here and you're kind of struggling that you want to let go of any negativity around your body and food and weight and health in general, because I know as seasoned women, we're really heading into the second half of our lives. Love to think half anyways, maybe even a little more, not quite a half you have left, but we want to live a vibrant, healthy, and a life that we are free of diseases and free of things. We can live life to the fullest. So if that's something that appeals to you and you might be looking to do, then if you can amen me somewhere, that would be great. So that's what I want to accomplish and help people. So I wanted to really take this time this week. Probably we'll be on for about a half an hour every night this week, discussing different parts of the protocol and different things that I've done to make a shift and have things move into a better place. So that's really what I want to accomplish this week. So we'll probably be on anywhere from 30, 40 minutes. Probably the max every night would be about 45 minutes. And I'm doing this every night this week. and that will be Monday through Friday. And then on Saturday morning, I'll do kind of a question answer. And depending on how many questions I have during the week, if there's time to answer some questions as I see them come up, I definitely would do that. But if for some reason, I don't want to, I so much appreciate your time and I don't want this to go on too long. So in case there's a lot of questions, I would probably just answer those in the question and answer session on Saturday morning. And then I'll wrap up next Monday night, and that will be kind of if anything has come up, that kind of do a summary of everything that we've gone through, and then we can go ahead at that point and kind of summarize everything, some action steps and things for you. So I do have to apologize. I do have a worksheet that I put together that you could kind of follow along and take a lot of notes on. But for some reason, again, a little bit of a technical challenge here. I could not get that worksheet to load up for you. So if you do want the worksheet, just a lot of times when I'm taking seminars, I like a worksheet because then when I look at the notes, they're back in that workbook and I know those notes where they came from. So if you do want the worksheet, you can always email me at info@feelfabulousnutrition.com and I can go ahead and send you the worksheet so you can print it out and use that. Otherwise, just go ahead and take some notes. So tonight's going to be a little bit of an introduction about me, about Feel Fabulous Nutrition. I told you a little bit about what my goals were. And then we're going to start by going through the first phase of my 3R protocol, which is relax, release, and replenish. So we'll go through that as well. So anyways, to get started, a little bit about my background and my story. I guess I'll let you know, in case you don't know me, my name is Patricia Cordova, and I am, like I said, the founder of Feel Fabulous Nutrition, and obviously started this group as well so that we could really what I'm looking for in this group is to be able to have discussions. There's so much confusion out there, and especially for women who are more seasoned, as I like to say. We're definitely not old, but we're seasoned, and we want mature conversations. We're not looking for necessarily a quick fix. Of course, everybody wants something to be fixed quickly, but we want a mature approach. We're not looking for bikini bodies by next weekend, lose 10 pounds this weekend, starve yourself. So I want to have something that is really you can follow as more of a life type plan for yourself, a protocol. And so I want to have mature discussions about things. And that's why I formed the group, because, I want this to be a group of women that really are interested in that type of a discussion, not in what I would call a little more immature discussions. So I want people to feel they can come into the group, not be judged, wherever everybody's at different places and in different times in their lives. So we want to really just be able to have discussions without, like I said, without any sort of judgment, and no question is a stupid question, so to speak. All questions would be great. And certainly if there's anything that I don't have an answer to, I'll find out, I'll get an answer for you. Or if it's just not something that is in my toolbox at all, then I'll let you know that too. And I'll be honest about that. So just wanted to let you know that. So hopefully we will build the group as time goes on, and we'll have fun in some of our discussions. So a little bit about my background, my story. I pretty much grew up in a family that didn't necessarily have the most nutritious food. It was great. We had cakes and cookies and all sorts of wonderful sugary treats all the time. My mother was a phenomenal baker, and it was known that wherever my mom would end up going, pretty much she always came with goodies with her. So at the time, I thought that was wonderful and great. But of course, as years have gone by, I now have a little more knowledge that maybe that wasn't the best way to start off your childhood years and moving into the future. So pretty much by the time I was in 8th grade, I remember being weighed at school. And pretty much at that point, it was kind of announced that I was officially overweight, which translated pretty quickly into fat. And so from about 12 years old, I started dieting. And I started with TOPS, which was a take off pounds sensibly. I went with my mom. My mom also struggled with her weight. And I just went from diet to diet. Of course, years ago, many years ago, it was really a calorie in, calorie out. All you have to do is eat less, and eat less, exercise more. Thank God, not only did most people know that never really worked, but unfortunately, most people did kind of blame themselves for why that didn't work. And thank God that we know now that's not the case. Absolutely not the case. So calories and a calorie isn't a calorie. Okay. Anybody who wants to say you can eat a 200 calorie piece of cake and eat 200 calories worth of broccoli and it's the same thing, they don't understand the chemistry of our bodies. Absolutely not the same thing. Not going to go through our system the same, not going to assimilate into our body the same. So, that has many years ago, probably pretty much in the 90s, that was put to bed. Like the science was so, overwhelming science that did not work and hadn't worked. So of course, that was one of the huge myths that have been out there. And finally that ended. So I went through most of my life really just always struggling with eating healthy, wanting to eat healthy, feeling guilty if I didn't eat the right foods, I'm saying right, okay? So feeling guilty about that, feeling bad about it, feeling bad about myself. What's wrong with me? I must be this terrible person. Why can't I lose weight? And then I would go on some sort of a crash type of a diet, and I would lose weight and I would feel great. But it wasn't sustainable. It was, one time I was on a calorie diet. I think it was 600 calories a day. And I stayed on that for 3-4 months, lost a bunch of weight, felt great until maybe a month after I was off the program. And then half of the weight came back and eventually more weight came on. So my struggles have just been lifelong, with periods of times that I felt I was at my right, correct weight. And that always made me feel great. So probably about 10 years ago now, I really started to want this struggle. And of course, I'm going into the second half of my life. And I realized that now was the time that I needed to really change this story that's been going on in my whole life. I wanted it to end. I wanted a happy ending finally. And I also knew that the accumulation of all of the years of not eating the correct type of things, not taking care of my body the way that I should take care of my body, was really taking a toll. And I realized that if I want to live to that 117 I'm going for, that I have to make some dramatic changes. But I also know that life there's more to life than complicating this. And a lot of times that's what I feel like when I start to listen to some of the strategies that other people have in, some of the other diets, which on another day we'll actually talk about a lot of the other diets that are kind of out there. And I'll give you my opinion, what I think is good about them and what I think is not so good as well. And then what we'll do is go through that at another point, but I just realized I needed to change. So I just 100% in. So what I did was I started researching. I said there has to be a better way. There has to be a more holistic way to look at this. And so for a few years, I was just reading everything I could get my hands on. And then I loved it so much. I realized there's so much nutritional information and new science out there that can really help us and really change things for us, that I decided at that point that I did want to get certifications in as a coach so that I could bring all this knowledge to other women, serve them, and build a new message. I mean, if you're in your late 40s and above, okay, which I'm above, then at that point, I mean, we know that we still have 30, 40, 50, God willing, 60, 70 years left that we're going to be living in this body. And we want this body to be vibrant. It isn't about living to 117. It's about living a full, vibrant life where you're enjoying everything about life. You're still moving around and you feel comfortable and your body is free of diseases. And that's the ultimate goal, is that we have that vibrant life. So all this information that I've learned and got certified first as a transformational nutritional coach, and that was a very holistic type of a program. It was through the Institute for Transformational Nutrition. And then after I did that for a couple of years, I felt like there's a missing piece, that something else was really there at the root of it. And so then I was introduced and was exposed to the Institute for Psychology of Eating, and I decided to take their program as well. So I actually am dually certified, and I'm also certified now as an eating psychology coach. And I believe that we can't negate our mind-body connection. A lot of our thoughts, our emotions, are how they're going to dictate our actions, and they're going to dictate how our body is going to respond chemically, hormonally as well, and that will end up dictating a lot of things that we put in our body. So they're connected. You can't really separate one from the other. And so sometimes, and this is what I truly believe, is all of this is very individual. Every person, their history, their story about, when I just say your story, your history of your food, what your life's been about, where you've lived, toxins you've been exposed to, food choices from childhood all the way to adulthood. All of these things make a difference. And that what we want to do is kind of look at all of that and take a look at where are the missing pieces. So sometimes that missing piece, yes, it is just a nutrient imbalance. Maybe it's a hormonal imbalance. Maybe it's your thought process, that how you think about things is really where you're stuck. And so I think usually it's all of the above. It's never one magic bullet. I wish it was. Believe me, that would be the easiest thing, is to say, oh, it's this. And you fix that and then everything is miraculous. But most of the time it takes tweaking, it takes experimenting and moving, taking a look at all of those things. Just want to keep an eye on the time here because I tend to talk. My friends will say amen to that. So I always have to watch my time a little bit. But anyway, so that's what my background was. That was my story. I was determined that I didn't care if it took me till 117, that I was going to finally be free from the drama. I like to call it the drama and the baggage that I've had around this for years, and finally live the second half of my life in a much healthier body. Sorry, I have to keep adjusting this camera. In a much healthier body, and one that I'm at peace with, that I'm happy with, that I don't feel guilt or shame around my body, how I look, how I feel, that I do feel fabulous. So that is basically my goal, what I would love to do. And what I want to start with and really teach you and give you my ideas, and hopefully something may click for you. It may just be like, wow, I never thought of it that way. And that's what I'm hoping, because that's what happened to me through all of my training and working with some people, that I really, little things just all of a sudden they clicked, and one thing, another thing, and it clicked. And next thing you know, their lives have changed, like my life's been changed. My journey's not over. I'm still working on it because I want to be the best that I can be. And so it's an ongoing process, and our bodies change constantly. Our body now is not the same body that it was when we were 20 or when we were as a teenager or even as a child. Obviously, we have different bodies, and we're going to have different bodies through our lifetime. So we always have to be tweaking, but we want to be doing those things in a way that isn't causing us any stress. And so that brings me to the very first R of my 3R protocol, which is relax. So, one of the things that I've discovered, and recently, it was kind of funny, I had a comment from, I would say a younger person recently said, well, if I relaxed, I think that's what caused all my weight gain. So I started, it was kind of a little bit amusing to me, but obviously I'm going to talk about relaxing, and I'm also going to be talking about relaxing while we are taking action. So this relaxing isn't a, hey, just, go out and do every bit of harm that you can do to your body because you're just relaxed. Relaxing is really talking about a difference between our sympathetic and our parasympathetic nervous systems, our fight or flight versus being relaxed. So I realized during all the struggles and all the training that I've had that the first key to get started is you really need to be in a relaxed state of mind in order for you to move forward, to be able to make the changes that you need to make. So my first R is take a breath, literally, figuratively, and relax. You are where you are, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But there is true science that if we're constantly in stress about, in here, I'm talking about stress really kind of as it relates to your relationship with your food and your body and your health, as more than other things in our lives that will give us a lot of stress, but that's there as well. So we want to relax. We want to be able to look at the journey ahead towards good health, better health. Maybe you already have a little bit of health, but hopefully maybe you want some more. Okay. You want to have ideal health. So that journey that you're going to go on to obtain that health, then we want to relax, take a step back, take a breath, and say, okay, I I want my body to relax. And one of the reasons we want to do that is that we all, or it's kind of a known thing. I don't want to say, a lot of times I'll say we all, but maybe you don't know, but obviously when our body is in a stressed state, which is called the sympathetic nervous system state, we release a lot of cortisol. And that was great. You know, we have lions and tigers, everybody chasing us around years and years, centuries, thousands of years ago. We needed that, but we had the stress, we did our running, and then it was over. And then we could relax. Well, our society today, most of us have extremely schedules that are just very hectic, family, taking care of relatives, like all sorts of things on us. So we are constantly stressed. So what happens is that our body, in some ways, to protect itself, it adjusts to that in the sense that it knows that it's just chronic stress. But what it is doing to our body, it is aging us, and it is causing part of the cause of inflammation in our bodies. So when we start to realize that, anytime we can release stress and not have stress, it will benefit our body. So I want us to move into that relax, if nothing else, regarding your nutrition, your health. Relax. Now, if you're pushing back at me, you probably need to relax the most. And I know, maybe a doctor has just told you you're pre-diabetic, or you must lose some weight, or you're going to have heart problems, or, something very serious. And so you're saying, well, how can I relax? I get it. I understand that news has been there, and you seriously now want to take some action. But the action is going to move forward quickly if you're relaxed. If it's something that you're choosing to do, you're excited about doing it, you're curious, what can I accomplish? How far can I go? How healthy can I become based on what I have now? That's a whole different attitude, and it will bring you into a parasympathetic nervous system state. Now, when you're in parasympathetic nervous system state, everything works better, including your food assimilation, having a meal when you're relaxed. And that's the other key, the power of actually slowing down in your meals. And these sound simple, but putting them into practice is not so simple. I have to constantly catch myself from not eating too quickly. And when you slow down, even if you say, all right, I have a 30-minute lunch. So I'm going to relax. I'm going to enjoy my food for 30 minutes. I'm going to eat whatever I've brought, or whatever I'm going out to, whatever you're doing, you are going to relax. And scientific studies have shown that even if you're eating a poorer quality food, if you slowly eat that food in a relaxed state, you chew that food, you enjoy it, you smell it, your body physically will relax and will assimilate that. Now, I'm not saying that because I'm suggesting that you go out and eat poor quality food. By the end of this week, you'll know I'm the opposite of poor quality food. Definitely want to eat really good quality food, because you should love your body and what you're putting in it. But even if you're in a situation where quality food is maybe not available, then relax. Enjoy it. If you can't change that situation, it is what it is. Slow down, eat that food, enjoy it, take your time, let that food assimilate into your body. Your digestion will be better by the fact of slowing down physically how you're eating. Now, some people will say, oh yes, count your chews. Well, I can't be very relaxed if I'm sitting there counting every time I'm chewing a piece of meat. Okay, that is not going to relax me. So I'm not suggesting you count or anything like that, but just truly realize, yes, camera is sliding, sorry. Truly realize that if you are relaxing and you're eating your food and enjoying it, savoring whatever it is you can to the degree that you can. Hopefully not too often is it a McDonald's Big Mac or something, but do what you can do to really relax, slow down, enjoy your food. And it will make huge strides. Every time I do that, I find that I'm eating higher quality, I'm choosing higher quality because my brain has time to also take in what's going on in front of me. So that, but definitely getting into a parasympathetic nervous system is key, and slowing down is another big key to doing that. And then the next thing that I want to talk about is really to start from a clean slate. We may all come, like I had mentioned before, from different places where we were at. Maybe like my mom lovingly giving us all of that sugar for many, many years. I'm not going to blame her for that. I mean, she did what she did out of love. And I understand that. And she did what she did with the knowledge that she had at the time. So that is what it is. There's no blame. There's no blame. Our society is filled with junk food. It's filled with packaged food for convenience that is actually really killing us. And so you can take the stance of saying, oh my gosh, the society they're all to blame. Everybody's to blame. No blame. No blame here. It is, the situation is where it's at right now. So just take a step back. You don't need to put any blame. But one of the first steps also is you want to start from a clean slate. Now, for me, one of the things that I did was I really did take a look at what was my food story? What was my history as far as my health and nutrition and food and really kind of my life, but concentrating on that part of it. And then I went ahead and I wrote down my story. And I wasn't writing my history and my story to criticize it but I wanted to enlighten myself because there were certain things I never really thought about how, when did I first start diet and what did that mean and all of those things. So when you're in a relaxed state, you can look at your story with a different viewpoint and a different awareness. And that's what we want to do. Just be aware of it. What is your story? What is your history? Where did things maybe turn? It's different from everybody. I started very young on dieting. Other people, that's not their case. They may have been in their 30s or 40s, maybe after kids, and then that changed everything for them. So everybody's story is different. Everybody's history is different. Where things maybe were going well, maybe things not so well for them. So taking a look at the history is more about starting fresh than trying to find issues with your story, because your story is what your story is. So we're not going to find fault with the story. We're not looking to place blame, but it may just lead you to clues. And you may say, that makes sense now. My mom did that, or my, schooling was this way, or this is where it changed for me. So that's what we want to do. We want to discover that. So take some time, write out your story, and where did things change for you, for your body. Maybe it is very much a body physical hormonal change that is something that needs to be adjusted as well. But if you look at your story in a relaxed, parasympathetic, you're going to love that word by the end of this course. If you look at it that way, then you might discover some pieces that maybe were missing from your knowledge, and that can make a little tweak and a little change and say, maybe that's where I got that behavior, or maybe that's where I started to really, overeat that sugar, or things like that. It will come up. So take a look, because we want to start from a clean slate. No matter what your history has been, this is a brand new moment in time, a new day, new start, fresh start. So I want you to be excited about this, about your journey moving forward, and be excited that you can change not only your mind, but your physical body. Your health can dramatically change when you start to, in a relaxed state, implement some new strategies. And that's what we're going to talk about moving forward. So, and then the last thing I would kind of just, it sort of goes hand in hand with what I've just been talking about. You want to take a non-judgmental look at your present situation. Just, where do I stand right now? What health problems do I have? Do I have some aches and pains? Do I have digestive issues? Do I have weight to lose? Do I have, in the number doesn't matter. I'll talk a little bit more about that on some other sessions. Doesn't matter how much weight you need to lose. I think if we can look at the goal as becoming what our natural body weight is for us, then I think that that's what we want to look at. And that's going to be different for everybody. I don't look at those weight charts as being the be all know all, because again, all that does is give people a lot of stress. If someone says, oh, I need to lose 50 pounds. If I don't lose 50 pounds, they're so focused on the 50 pounds. So if they lose 49, it's not good enough. Or they lose 51, now they went over. It doesn't make sense. You want to be a natural, good weight for you and for your body. And that weight is going to be different for everybody. So let's not be so focused on what that number is. Let's just take a look at, where do you stand now? What are your goals? Maybe what habits do you need to change? I tend to I've really cut back on that habit, but one of my bad habits would be really that late night snack eater. Like I'll eat great all day, and then late at night I would start eating tons of junk food, things like that. So these are type of habits and things that I knew was something I wanted to change. So if you take a look at that, kind of a little bit of a homework assignment for yourself is, what do you want to change? What would be your goals moving forward? And again, this isn't a judgmental look at where you are. It's just, it's an inquiry. I'm curious. What are the things that I'd like to change? Be relaxed. Write those things down and start to think about some questions. I'm going to wrap up here now, but start to think of some questions as we go on through the week, what you'd like to maybe ask me about. Some of these things that where you are right now. I'm going to talk a lot about inflammation later on. A lot of us, as we get older, our body really has a lot of inflammation, and that may be causing a lot of issues. Of course, we'll talk about some food things, but if you have questions, I'm so honored to answer as many questions as I can for you. So starting tomorrow, I'm sure we'll have more questions, and more people will have watched this, and they may type in some questions when we're not actually live, which will be great. And I'll address some of those as we go along as well. So relaxing, that doesn't mean no action, but we're going to take action, but it's going to be fun, curious, excited action. It's not going to be this, crazy, stressful, oh my God, I need to do something now, today, quickly. No. Take a breath. Let's relax. Let's all move forward together. Doesn't mean we won't move quickly, but we're just going to move in a very relaxed pace instead of being frantic, which is just going to cause us to have more stress in our body. So hope that makes sense. Thank you so much once again. I'm going to wrap up for tonight, and tomorrow, 8 o'clock as well, we're going to be talking about releasing all sorts of toxins from our minds, our bodies, and also our environment. So look forward to speaking with you tomorrow. And if you do have questions in the meantime, absolutely let me know, and I'll be addressing those as we go along. And then if you know of anybody that you want to share this with, absolutely have them listen to the tonight's live. We'll be able to get a replay of this. And then after that, we will, if they have questions, hopefully they can join us. So thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here and serving you, and look forward to tomorrow night. Have a great night. Thank you.